JSON, otherwise known as JavaScript Object Notation, is sort of the standard for storing and representing any sort of complex data in JavaScript. And it really makes it much easier to deal with all kinds of data and all kinds of data models that are more complex. And I think it's going to be very useful for you moving forward as we develop more complicated programs and more capable programs. So let's get into JSON and how it works and how it's structured. So let's start with JSON structure. And the JSON structure at its core is pretty simple. You can see that it's a variable that's equated to a number of key and value pairs inside curly braces. So for each value, you have a key, and that key is how we access, update, and manage that value. It'll make a lot more sense as we get into the specifics. So a few things about JSON keys. A JSON key is going to be a string, and it must be enclosed in double quotes. Single quotes should be considered completely off limits for JSON, and that is a standard that is pretty picky. And normally in JavaScript we have double quotes and single quotes sort of being interchangeable. But in terms of JSON, we always want to use double quotes, so that might be something to remember as you move forward. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is the creation of a variable, and I'll call it letJSONData, and we will use the assignment operator and a left curly brace, and then I'm going to start giving it key and value pairs. The first key is going to be the word name, or the string name, and then it is paired with the value, which is Bill. And in between them, you can see that I have a colon, and at the end, I have a comma. And the only reason I need a comma is if I have more than one key and value pair here. And usually I do, but you don't necessarily have to. So the next key and value pair is age and the number 49. You can see that 49 does not have quotes because it is a number. So we're using the variable just in the variable type or the data type in just the same way that we would normally use it. Is professor colon true is a Boolean. And then of course I can even do things like this where the value is an array. And at the end of the JSON data object, I am just going to put a right curly brace. So JSON values have similar, have some constraints, not as many as the keys, but they can be any one of the following data types. They can be a string, a number, a Boolean, an array, or even another JSON object, which allows us to have complex data objects in our code. So here's an example of the JSON data variable with the values highlighted. And the values are, of course, the string Bill, the number 49, the Boolean value true, and the array. I don't have an example here of a JSON string as a sub piece of that, but I will show you that in just a moment.